we need to talk about AtariAge, because there is a growing issue at the website that needs to be addressed. AtariAge is no stranger to controversy, and it's not a small community either. It's the premier Atari resource on the internet, and has been so for, well, over 20 years now. When you search for something Atari related on Google, chances are you'll be directed to AtariAge, even before Atari's main website. It's a treasure trove of information on Atari consoles, computers, games, history, people, the owners of the company, and everything else you can think of. So what is the issue I'm referring to? Is there a solution? And how will it potentially affect you and the website in the future? Well, let's talk about it. But first, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We discuss everything important to Atari lovers and the community, from homebrew to the classics, the consoles, and everything in between. Also, consider supporting the channel for $2 to $5 on patreon.com. That way this channel can continue to grow. You can also join the Discord for free if you want to continue the discussion after the videos. Okay, no further delays, let's talk some AtariAge. I want to start by explaining what AtariAge is. It's more or less a combination of a forum and a storefront. These are two distinct halves of the website that seemingly work independent from one another. There are some resources and scans on the website too, but that's nothing compared to, say, Atari Mania or even Atari7800forever.com. It's a community and a gathering place for Atarians to talk about our favorite company, consoles, and games with like-minded people. Some members have been visiting the forums since the beginning, and are essentially the untouchable godfathers of the forums. Most of them are very welcoming, but some are, well, less than tolerant. But this is common at any forum on the internet, and not exclusive to AtariAge. If you're interested in keeping up with new homebrew games, learning about fun programming and hardware projects, or if you just want opinions on anything Atari, this is the place to be. The other half of AtariAge is a storefront, and it's recently gotten, well, quite a bit smaller. Prior to the buyout from Atari proper, the website owner, Albert Yaruso, I think that's how you pronounce it, sorry Al, held a last chance sale for many of the games. And it was because they were of, let's just say, questionable legality. Most IP owners were willing to turn a blind eye, or they simply weren't aware of what AtariAge was doing, because in the overall scheme of things, AtariAge caters to a small community. But once Atari became the owner of AtariAge, it would have opened them up to some legal disputes in selling ports, and clear recreation of games like Popeye, Pac-Man, and several others. Even prior to this, Princess Rescue was removed, as it was Super Mario Bros., plain and simple, for the Atari 2600. Still, the AtariAge store is the home of the best quality homebrews in the Atariverse. The boxes are thick, shiny, and well made. So are the manuals, and the cartridges are, well, they're nearly 100% perfect copies of the games we saw back in Atari's heyday. So with these two booming and positive halves of the website, what could the issues really be? Well, there have been issues in the past. For the most part, AtariAge and its forum members have been protectors of the community, and have helped to keep consumers safe from potentially shady products and people out there. When the Colecto Chameleon was attempting to become a thing, it was thanks in part to AtariAge users that the owner, Mike Kennedy, was called out time after time for some lies and untruths. Even when Mike rebranded and returned with the Retro VGS, AtariAge saw through his lies and showed that he is not to be trusted or supported. But that's what made it so surprising when AtariAge became the home of, and staunch defenders for, the Intellivision Amico and Tommy Tallarico specifically. But hindsight is always 20/20, and I do think a little clarification is in order for that part of the story. Tommy Tallarico is a well-known member of the gaming community. Well, he's a known figure, and one that seems like, at face value, somebody who could deliver on a product. He was a minor gaming celebrity, having worked on a ton of games in the music department, having been on several gaming television shows, and even part of the Video Game Live music series. So when he presented that he was releasing a new Intellivision console, a company that he loved, well, what reason was there not to trust him? AtariAge became his home base essentially, and he was defended and protected tooth and nail. Unfortunately, well, they gave him the benefit of the doubt for far too long, and it turned ugly in the end. But I don't think Albert is to blame at all. I do think that somebody should have stepped in sooner when it became clear he was sucking money from the community and delivering nothing. But I can say that sometimes it's hard to see what's going on when you're so close to it. People, specifically Pat the NES Punk and his CU podcast co-host, called out AtariAge and Tommy a lot, painting them in a less than favorable light. But that's already several years ago, and AtariAge has since recovered nicely in my opinion. They are once again a thriving community and the place to be for Atari information. Heck, you even get your 2600 plus beta updates there. So the question is, well, what's the issue with AtariAge today? What is it that we need to talk about? Well, I want to talk about the pre-orders, of course. The pre-orders have always been an issue and one that we have been forgiving to. All the games and homebrews are created and sold by one man, Albert himself. It wasn't uncommon for pre-orders to take up to 6 or 7 months. But for the most part, this was okay because we've all been dealing with Albert for years and we trust him. The problem now is that the 2600 Plus is bringing in more casuals and people who have been out of the loop for 30 to 40 years, if they had ever been in the loop at all. I vouch for AtariAge at every corner. I stand by what I said too. You can trust them, you will get your orders, and Albert is an upstanding guy. But it's becoming more difficult to defend them, as in videos right up to my last one, I've been getting comments that people are still waiting for their last chance orders. That sale and the orders from it are now over a year old, and some have not heard a word from Albert or AtariAge and continue to get no response in email. Now again, I know it's a one-man show. I know that AtariAge is making games independently, but these casual fans and newcomers are, well, they're not aware of that and they might not even care. They want to know what's going on, they want their games, and they're getting tired of waiting. Well, what's worse beyond that is that, well, they did another wave of pre-orders before completing the first wave. So, how long are people going to have to wait before receiving their pre-orders from this next wave? Another year? A year and a half? Or even longer? And why on earth is he still continuing to take more orders? Now, I would hate to tell Albert what to do because he is a pillar of this community and I respect him a lot. But I honestly think that, well, it'd be okay for him to admit that he is swamped and he needs to catch up at this point. I think it would be wise to stop taking orders, get caught up, and stop taking pre-orders in the future unless he gets some help in getting things done. Atari owns AtariAge now, making this even less acceptable that long wait times are the normal. And I know it's all made to order, again, it's a one-man show, and I promise you will get your games. This is what I've been telling people, but people are tired of hearing this from me. They want answers, they want their games. To that extent, I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna stop recommending AtariAge to people. It's putting my reputation on the line when I assure somebody that they will hear back and get their game, and then 2 months later I'm told that I'm a shill because they still don't have their games, and they never got a response after several emails. Now, I will continue to review AtariAge products, and I continue to believe in Albert and the website, but something has to be done to fix the pre-order problem, and until then, I'm just not going to recommend them anymore to my viewers. I don't want to upset anybody, especially the people who are watching my videos and supporting the channel. With that said, one last time, I want to say that AtariAge is trustworthy, and if you've placed an order, you will get your games. I've dealt with Albert and AtariAge for 5 years, even longer, honestly, but nobody would blame you for doubting him at this point. If he hasn't delivered to you yet, then you need to email and open the lines of communication. Find out what's going on. In my experience, he should answer. But that's the last time I'm going to recommend AtariAge until the wait time for pre-orders becomes more acceptable. But until then, well, now I want to hear from all of you. Have you ordered from AtariAge before? What's the longest you had to wait for your games to come? Is there any other points about AtariAge and its community that I should have made or that you want to make? Let me know about all this and more in the comments down below. And I'd also like to take this moment to thank my Patreons and YouTube members for supporting the channel on Patreon and via YouTube memberships. With their support, I can continue to grow the channel, cover more games and consoles, and get closer to world domination. Thank you all, and please head over to our Patreon in the comments down below for audio updates, exclusive videos, and more. Thanks for the support, guys. You all rock. And with that, well, it's time to sign off. I've been the 7800 Pro Gamer from the Atari Network, a YouTube channel and website soon to be banned and ousted from AtariAge, and I'd like to thank you all for watching the video. And until next time, please remember to stay classy, Atarians.